Today's video is I bought a grapple. Well, bought and already used the grapple, as you can see, put it through its paces. There's a lot of videos out about how to install grapple, third function, diverter valves on tractors, and there's a lot of kits out there. And a lot of them are geared towards the green guys and orange as well. But well, a lot of them make it seem that they are one size fits all. Not so. I did not buy a kit for this tractor. Well, let me back up. I don't have video of installing doing it all, because really this is just more information to help anybody out that has the same style tractor and setup I do, save them some headaches and such. I have the Cabelas LM36, which is actually TYM. Obviously, Cabelas did not make their own. They had replaced my dash, and as you can see on the dash now says TYM. It's an LCD dash, and the fuel gauge kept going out in bright light. It's been a decent tractor to this point. Again, this video is more just how I did it. You may want to do it differently, whatever, but the kits don't work, so for me, it wouldn't have worked. It would have been too much anyway. So diverter kit, true third function, not diverter, true third function, is well over $2,000. Kits are for the diverter are about 12. I brought my whole system in, probably about 500 to 600 total, between hoses and fittings, and had to buy obviously a diverter valve setup. This is the diverter valve setup I bought. I initially was going to, well, I will put links in the description, anybody's interested in it. I did not buy a kit. I just bought the diverter valve itself and then adjusted everything to what I needed here accordingly. Initially, I had the valve mounted. I drilled to the loader frame arm here. I knew this was stationary. Well, this moves. The problem with that being, when I had it here, these lines were fine. The big lines that go to the front, because this is moving, were constantly cutting through, and they were having too much motion, and there's wear and drag. So by mounting it to the arm with this moving with it, this is all stationary now. There is no drag or movement on the lines, which is what I wanted. The only lines that flex now are these two short guys here, which is fine because they have the joint below for that, and then they max out. I don't have to have a ton left over. I also sleeved everything through here just for chafing and wear points. I probably will put single sleeves over these just to UV protect them in there. The solenoid valve works off of, it's a momentary switch that goes back. You can buy a switch setup. That's what you'll see online, that velcros or zip ties to your joystick. The TYM has one installed already, and it's nicely, the wires chased down through, and they just leave you a bundle of ball in here. I took this apart, ran it all through underneath. You can't see it, and I'm not going to climb under to get to it. And then it goes up inside. There's a little harness there where I backed up my power. Doing this allowed me to keep this nice and neat. What happens when you push this button and hold it, it diverts the tilt function to the valve, which now then takes that tilt function and turns it into the grapple. And then when you let go of the button, you're back to your tilt. So you can do everything all in one, nice and simple. Worked really well. Like I said, I already took her for a good long test drive, and she worked really well. Everything chases down through the front bracket. They want to sell you aftermarket or anything, and which wouldn't have worked anyways. It's not, they have a big flat bracket that needs a flatter piece. This TYM doesn't. It's got the bevel here. I just took plate steel, cut it, made the piece size I needed, re-welded it all, painted it, drilled it out to make my fittings. I ended up going with and using, well, they only are 3/8 lines. The unit comes with 1/2 inch skid steer quick connects. And instead of going with a lot of the smaller poppet ones, I did the same. They're pretty expensive. These things were like $100 or over $100 for the pair of heavy duty on their own. And they are 1/2 inch, so it will take a lot of different implements. This now works very well. I had to put side angles on it just because of my brush guard. As it went up and down, it was pretty close, so I put the 90s on there to help that. This is a Titan 4-footer. I could have gone obviously bigger, but once you move to the 5s, this thing alone, I believe, comes in at about 300, 350. I don't remember off the top of my head. But once you move up to the 5, you're up into 500-600 pounds. And you got to remember, every bit of weight you hang off the front is less weight you're going to carry. These tractors are not monsters. They're made for what they are. They top out at certain lift weights, and the more you're hanging out front, the less you're going to lift. So this 4-footer is done. I only used it a short time, but took down a bunch of trees and brush, and it worked flawlessly. So the Titan comes with a nice cable routing with a spring that allows you to move up and down and without pinch and bind. I mounted the plate bracket I made to this shield. The shield has actually got clip holder. It holds these lines in place for routing and strength across the front end loader bar. What I did was I took it off completely and I drilled out holes, and because the bolts are there, what I did was then I just took my nuts and I welded them on the underside so I don't have to worry about it. There was enough space between these that the nut welding up on here wasn't a problem. So now when I pop the fittings off of that, I can unbolt it no problem without worrying about wrenches and everything and trying to take this off and still have all this attached with the heavy weight. I can pop this on its own without having to pop the plate. Not a problem. All my lines and fittings I did online. Yeah, I know people are going to say, well, yeah, cheap Chinese junk. Yeah, they say it made in China. But these are simple. Well, these say 4,800, but the system doesn't require, I think the systems are only 2,800, so all you require is 3,000s. You go to a machine shop, and the other ones, they want 100 hours damn hose. When I could pick these up online, I was picking them up for about $23, $24, depending on your length, online. So it was a fraction of it. And then I went overboard with covers. And at the fittings too, you're gonna pay a lot more throughout things. I got them online, and then I could get exactly how I wanted to run it. Like this one, I had to put an extender on. Same thing with these to get it one beyond, so the lines would line up. But stuff like that. So it's just totally easier that way for me to get what I want exactly how I wanted online. A couple quick things about my valve assembly. Obviously you want swivels, make it easier to tighten everything in. I did find after the fact adapters, because these are O-rings to here, that are shorter, much shorter inside versus these. Not a big deal on these guys. I may still change these out because you can see it's not outside the tire, but it sits out farther than I'd like, and it's about over an inch or so it'll reduce, which taking in about an inch is quite a bit for out here, so I still may do that yet as well. The online videos and kits you're going to see, everybody's going to talk about a lot of the greens and the orange tractors or fuse boxes back in by the driver's compartment. The TYM has it up here. You're going to see a lot of them are going to use recommend you use the fuse holder that goes in and it plugs into the fuse block and gives you another circuit. I could not do that on this because the fuse block is closed. There's no way to route. You'd have a wire hanging out, and wasn't putting holes in the cover. What I ended up doing is found power on the back, made a plug that fits in snugly, and then that goes to my fuse. I still put a nice fuse in line, and this has power, and it is switched power. So key on, I have power to the grapple solenoid. Key off, I do not. Obviously grounded back to the battery. Where my wires run, just to be safe, clean, and neat, all my wires that run through are up under the chassis, tucked away where other wires are, and I wire loomed them all. So nice and neat. This here I'll show you. They have a light on this particular one, which is pretty nice. You can see it right there, which allows the operator to see from the compartment if the solenoid is firing when you're pulling the button. I will show you that right here. I'm gonna give it some power. And now you'll see when I pull the button, which is really nice, because then if you diagnose and you have any issues, you can know whether or not you have issues. And as you'll see, turn the key off and you're dead. All right, hopefully you hear me over the tractor well. Good enough at least. I'll show you a quick demo. Obviously I'm gonna pull the stick this way for the open close of the tilt. And then when I pull the button, it's going to give me so first we do that, there's my tilt. Now when I pull the button, let go of the button, and I'm back to nice and simple. I did buy, this is the single cylinder. I saw a lot of people recommending the twin cylinder that has two different grabs. Again, was a lot bigger difference in price. This unit came in at about $1,400, which is a steal on grapples if you go out and price them out there. The double was a lot more, plus a lot more weight, because most of them are the wider, bigger ones. So far, this is done everything I've wanted to. Again, very limited. I may end up putting an additional tooth here with a full one, shorter one, whatever, because I do have, occasionally I have had debris escaping as I'm trying to pull it and grab it down, but it's early on. I have not done a ton. The only other thing I had to do with this Titan, and I don't know if it was directly because of it's my loader or something, but their plates are very nice thick, heavy plate steel. The problem is this, this is standard a quick connect skid steer. I've got several different implements, fits no problem. Put it in this one, and it would not. It was hitting right here because the obviously I couldn't notch this. It's so thick, but the this plate on my loader was probably almost a half an inch long, which was binding here, which was making it wasn't dropping all the way in. I couldn't even get the locks to, they would partially engage, but not much at all. No big deal. I took a grinder, cleaned off the bottoms of both plates on both sides, cleared it all up, and she drops right in like a glove now. Well, that's pretty much rundown on it. Again, it's the Cabelas LM. LM's their land management system. They got it, out of the tractors, and that's when I bought this 36. With the Titan, I don't. Well, there it is right there. The LW48 bucket from Titan. And any other questions on what I did or how I did it, or anything else about this, feel free to drop me a line. Thanks for watching. Feel free to love it if you would subscribe and like videos or whatever. So again, sometimes feels like not talking to myself out here. That's always a good thing, but have a great day and thanks for watching.